Come to a nice easy pose, a nice seated easy pose for this day one of healing yoga. I have deemed this one our rest day, a very relaxing and rejuvenating practice to bring a little slow movement into joints, to bring a little inversion into our lives with legs up the wall, and just this place to really find some breath and some reset. So let's take about 10 slow, easy breaths here in this easy pose. Bring your hands to the sides of your waist so that you can feel movement in the belly. And either closing your eyes or looking down, just start to notice the breath coming into the belly, the sides of the ribs, and all the way up. And exhale out of your mouth in a soft sigh, a controlled sigh, not letting any sound come out other than that breath exhaling. Feel the inhale, feel the hands stretch out, eyes closed, shoulders relaxed. Unclench your jaw, relax your tongue. Exhale out of your mouth. Listen to the sound and make sure you're feeling quite comfortable in your spine. Inhale. And exhale. Just keep going here. A few more breaths and we'll get into some slow, easy movement. This time of year, the perfect time to slow down and take stock and start to dream a little of the future. What does your future hold? What do you want to manifest? Slow and easy exhales, just clearing out the cobwebs, letting go of stagnancy, letting go of the old, making room for the new. These quieter practices, so effective in focusing the mind. Tuck your chin to your chest for the last 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, belly, inhale, sides of the ribs. Open into the heart, the back of the ribs, the back of the shoulders. Breathe into all of you. Exhale and a sigh. Feel that groundedness. Relax. Keeping eyes quiet, we're going to move on over into tadpole position. If you have your blanket, which I do highly recommend a blanket for any yoga class, but especially a restorative class, make a nice little roll here. What this roll does, it brings a little bit of pressure. You might feel as if this is an after dinner class for you. You might not even want this option of the blanket. You might feel too full. But this is to bring a little bit of space into the back of the rib, back of the sacrum, back of the hips. So we're going to lay down flat onto our belly. And the blanket's going to hit right there at the hip line, so that you have this little lift through the back of the hips and this widening through the SI joint. And then feet can come a little wide and toes turn out. And then you're going to lay down, and options here, you can bring your forehead to folded arms in front of you. Or maybe you'll bring one cheek to the earth and just lay all the way down, arms can reach back. And a long, slow breath, focusing into the back of the body. Fill so that you feel the belly pressing open, but then widen into the back of the hips, the back of the belly, the back of the shoulders. Soften your jaw, soften your eyes. Let the exhale now out of your nose. Let it be almost a lullaby here. These relaxation classes really are a bit of a challenge right at the beginning. You just have to convince your brain that this is important work. Just allowing stress to go with each exhale. If you turned one cheek, go ahead and turn the other. Get an extra stretch through that neck. A few more breaths. Breathe into the back of your body. Stay still. Bend into your knees. Roll into your ankles, nice and slow, wiggle toes. Just reversing the blood flow here in the ankles, the calves. Slow and easy breath. If you haven't already gone all directions, start to vary what you're doing. Let's see if you can open up a little bit of space. Stretch and point and flex into the foot. Feel that stretch through the Achilles tendons. Wiggle your toes. And make sure knees feel close enough together. Bring stillness into your feet. Just windshield wiper the ankles left and right. Slow, easy belly breath. Filling into the back of your heart, the back of your spine, the back of your shoulders. And gently lengthen out. And we're going to press back to child's pose. Slowly make your way back. Knees can come a little wide apart, toes stay together. Press back nice and easy, maybe to forearms, maybe out to forehead. You can bring that blanket under the forehead if that feels nice. And feel that slight pressure there in between the brows, and relax again into this very softening forward fold, breathing into the back of your body. Feeling a heaviness through the hips, really sink in as though someone is pressing you down. This feeling of softening through your body, stretch. If arms are comfortable, you're reaching forward. Really breathe into the sides of the ribs, fill to capacity. Inhales. Feel the belly. Let yourself slow down. Give yourself permission to rest. Slowly come up. Tabletop position. Unroll your blanket and give yourself a little patting under your knees. Tops of the feet to the earth, knees a little wider than your hips. Turn your fingers a little outward. Bring your palms a little wider than your shoulders. Little bend through the elbows and just sway here gently left and right. Let your head hang heavy, the back of your neck finding some space. Notice your belly. Are you clenching into the abs, into your core? Let everything relax and soften. Breathe. Turn fingers a little bit forward. Press up and back into a cat pose. Exhale all of the breath out as you press back to child's pose. Extend into the back body. Find some space. Inhale slowly. Come up. Find a cow pose. First table, and then you drop the belly. Lift the heart. Lift the hips. Exhale slowly as you roll to your cat pose. Hold the breath out. Press back, child's pose. And when the inhale wants to start, you come up. You inhale, you find your table, and then your cow. Exhale, roll to your cat. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then press back, child's. Take about 7 more rounds on your own. Really get into the flow of it and the sound of your breath. Be free form here. Stretch. Stretch like no one's watching. Last 5 breaths, recommit to holding the breath out as you press to child's pose. So you're exhaling the breath out as you press to cat, and then hold the breath out, press back to child's pose. Pause as long as the exhale wants to stay out. When the inhale starts, you come up, you breathe, you find that space through the front of the body. You exhale, get rid of the breath, let it all leave. And then slowly press back and down, holding the exhale out until the air wants to return. 3 more. Last one, count to at least 10 in your child's pose with that breath held out. Go to 20 if you can. When you're ready, you'll breathe, coming up. We'll make our way up and over into easy pose. And bringing right shin in front, Easy pose is best done with the ankles and knees somewhat in line with each other. We have this tendency sometimes to kind of hug those ankles in toward the hips, and this creates this lift through the knees. So try to bring those ankles out, flex through the heels, and then make sure you feel nice and connected to your base here, grounding down that blanket right under your hips for comfort, and hands fold gently over the knees. As a matter of fact, let's bring a little heat into the palms of our hands here for a moment. Take a deep inhale. Exhale all of the breath out. Bring a little heat and friction in between the hands. And since we did the work of warming them up before we find our first pose or our first movement, let's bring hands over our eyes closed. Maybe even tuck chin into your chest, feeling a stretch. Relax your shoulders. Feel the warmth of your hands on your face. If you're wearing glasses, just take them off for a second and just close your eyes, those old-time monkeys, for a moment. Just see no evil. Jaw relaxes. Release your hands to your knees, curl the fingers over. Face lifts, eyes can stay closed or down. And moving from the base to the tip, so from tailbone to the crown of your head. As you inhale, start to move to the right with your spine, making full circles. We're going to inhale the front half of the circle and exhale the back half of the circle. Flexing out through the heels really helps to create this steadiness. I'll turn to the side here. Really try to get into that movement from the bottom to the top, leading with the belly button. Try to match your breath with your movement, inhaling that front half of the circle. Exhaling back half, feel that stretch. 2 more. And coming back to a nice tall spine. Left hand comes down next to you, spread out through the fingers. Right hand reaches all the way up, palm pressing inward. Stretch up from the shoulder to the wrist and then press over into a side stretch. Palm can stay close to you or you can reach it further out. Eyes can stay closed. Breathe deeply into the right side rib cage. Exhaling, see if you can stretch a little further. 1 more. Slowly lift back up. Reach both arms up, palms pressed together. Exhale, hands to your heart. Left hand curls over the left knee. Turn to the right, find a twist. Right arm reaching behind you. Twist all the way to the neck. Inhale into your belly, into your twisted belly, your twisted ribs, your twisted heart. Find that space. Exhale. One more. And slowly come back to center. Lift tall, inhale. And exhale, slowly fold forward. Palms to the earth, forearms to the earth, or forehead to the earth. Your level of comfort here in a quieting forward fold. If you come to a place where you can rest forehead to your hands or to the ground, please do so. Feel that connection. Such a lovely signal to the nervous systems to quiet. Relax your jaw and deepen your breath yet again. Focus in on the beat of your heart. Can you feel it there in your chest, the back of your chest? In the front of your chest. Slow down. Slowly walk up. Hands behind you, stretch those legs out, find some space. Move the knees, the toes, even get into the wrists, shoulders, and neck. And second side, left leg in front now, finding first your easy pose. If hips feel a little tight or you felt any pulling in your knees, a little extra height can help, or just bring those feet a little further away from your body. Hands rest on your knees, that nice curling feeling. And our inhale now to the left, leading from the bottom to the top and just finding this space. Exhaling as you curl back, stretch back, tuck the chin. And keep going. 3 more slow circles. Come back to center. Right hand presses down. Left arm reaches up. And then once you're reaching up, reach up again between the shoulder and the wrist. Really find that space in the sides of the ribs and the shoulder itself. Right hand presses in and lean over. Breathe deeply into the left side ribs, eyes closed or down. This feeling of steadiness through the body. Grateful for this moment. This moment of rest. Slowly press up. Hands will meet overhead. Inhale. And pull the hands down to your heart. Exhale. Right hand to your knee, left hand reaches back. Find your twist, twisting from the tailbone to the neck. Inhale, belly, heart, shoulders. Exhale, twist a little more. Stay tall. And slowly come back to center. Lift tall in the spine. Keep the length. Inhale. And exhale, slowly fold forward. Hands to the earth, forearms to the earth, or forehead to the earth. Your level of comfort here. And then if you can, forehead rests to hands or to the earth or a block. Really concentrate on breathing into the back of your body here. Just allowing this feeling of hibernation to come over you in this evening relaxation class. And you look at the body as a science experiment that you can systematically turn on or off with intention, movement, and breath. Life becomes much easier. Just really dedicate the rest of this class to rejuvenating and finding peace. Slowly come up. Legs stretch out. Find some blood flow again through the knees. And either leaning back on your hands or give those wrists and fingers a little roll as well. And let's come on up and over into downward facing dog. We're only going to take about 10 breaths here in downward dog. If it's too much for you, child's pose or extended puppy is where we'll be going next. I just want to give a chance to find some space in the back of the legs. You can also just keep one knee on the ground and find a stretch that way. Otherwise, have a few breaths here in the downward dog. Find any variation you'd like, find some movement, and take this opportunity for some open mouth exhales. Hips are over heart, heart is over brain, so naturally rejuvenating to the body. Just take advantage of it. Three more breaths. Knees return to the earth. Nice and wide in the knees, tops of the feet to the mat. You can bring that blanket in if you'd like. Hands reach out. And heart starts to come down, bringing puppy pose in now. Hips stay up over the knees, and it's a feeling that you're bringing your chest, your armpits, and your throat to the earth. Whether or not they reach is another story, but it's a feeling that that's what you're going for here, this nice lengthening through the back of the body. If the flexibility is there, you'll melt that heart down to the earth. Really reaching the arms forward, chin or one cheek to the earth. 10 slow and easy breaths here. Three more breaths. Slowly come on up. Tabletop. And bringing the blanket back in, let's find that roll. And we're going to settle here into a kneeling position. If kneeling is not for you, then you will come back to easy pose or maybe even take a chair. We're just going to come into some spinal movement here with some finding some space in the backs of our legs. So bringing the roll in, this is one of the ways that you can bring some space into the knees. You really want to tuck that blanket as far into the knee creases as you can. Knees are hip distance. And then slowly come and sit back. And this can be actually a little uncomfortable. So if you feel a little discomfort, just know that's natural. There's also a way that you can spread the calf muscles out so that you can get that nice little pressing down effect. And this helps to release fascia, create space in the front of the knees, and it can feel really nice. It can be a little intense. If it's a little intense, come up or come up. Otherwise, settle into it for 3 breaths. Hands resting to your lap, shoulders relaxed. Try to release tension from the legs, sinking in. Come forward and up a little and move the blanket back about 3 inches. So it's out from in between the knees and right there at the calves. And now sit back and down, hopefully a little less intense. And hands come back to your knees. And this time we'll flex into the spine in a kneeling cat-cow. And again, feel free to come to any position you would like if this kneeling does not work for you. Inhale, tailbone presses back, belly comes forward, heart comes forward, throat opens. Exhale, curl and round, tailbone tucks by the space of the sacrum, at the lumbar spine, at the lungs, at the shoulders, at the neck. Inhale, keep going. Just let yourself unfold like a snake spine or an accordion. Slinky. 3 more slow rounds. Slowly lift up. Come forward. Blanket moves out of your way and just bring some length into the back of your legs for a moment, one at a time, or even stretch to a downward dog. And slowly move back and over to your spine or to your back, hugging knees to your chest, blanket to your side for Shavasana. Roll around here gently side to side, knees about hip distance. And gently bring your hands down, feet down. Roll your shoulder blades a little closer together. Feet pressing into the earth, palms pressing in, back of the head pressing in. Inhale into your belly, into your heart, and into the back of your body. See if you can really expand into the mat, exhaling. Left foot stays pressing on the earth, right foot reaches up. And just very gently bend and straighten into the knee a few times. Flexing into the heel. A little stretch through the hamstring and bring just that lovely regenerating movement into the knee. And bend into your knee, arms out to a T shape. And left knee opens just so that you have room to move here. And go into some right hip circles. Go one way a few times. Nice and slow. Jaw relaxed. Breath slow. Go the other way. And back to center. And straighten and bend the knee a few more times. Right foot down, left knee comes in, and then left leg lifts. Same sequence, second side. Arms can come back to your sides for a moment. And just bend and straighten into the left knee. Flexing the heel. Very therapeutic here about your movements. The breath coming slow and big. Tension and stress just leaving, making room for inspiration and creativity. Hug the left knee in, let the right leg open, the right knee opens into half pound angle pose. Arms out to a T shape for that support. And slowly go one way a few times into those hip circles. Really hold awareness here at the hips. Change direction. Hips like to tell a story. And back to center. A few times, just straighten and bend into that knee again. Right knee comes in, both knees hug in. And arms come up, wrap them around your calves. Sorry, your shins. And roll your ankles here. One way, then the other, wiggle toes. Feet come down. We'll take our way into a supported version of reclined pigeon pose. Reclined pigeon pose already really quiet. We're going to make it even more quiet. Roll, if your blanket hopefully is still rolled from our knee adventure. Now we'll make it our hip adventure here, our nice tight roll. If you have a bolster or a pillow to use instead, that's fine with me. We're just bringing a little bit of very comforting height up under the hips. So from your starting position here, you're going to press into your feet and lift the hips up, sliding the blanket under the lumbar spine, the tailbone, the SI joint, and you're just going to wiggle around there until you feel nice and supported. Hands can stay on the blanket, and right ankle comes to cross the left thigh. You can stay right here. If you'd like, though, you can also hug in, and here's where that support comes in. That blanket becomes your support, and you don't even have to use your arms to help yourself hug in. That little bit of height under the hips helps. Take a few open mouth exhales. Feel the back of your body sink into the earth and just recommit to this hour of rest and renewal. And slowly relax down. Left foot to the earth, right foot unwinds. Take a moment and center, recenter. Exhale. And left ankle crosses at the right thigh. You'll stay here or gently hug in, letting the height of the blanket help you to hug in. If you're not feeling that, you'll just scooch around until you do. And start to notice here the length of your inhale and exhale. Inhale for the count of 6. And exhale for the count of 8. Systematically releasing tension through the body as you breathe here, inhaling 6 and exhaling 8. slow down. And gently relax back down to center, right foot to the earth, left foot to the earth. Recenter your hips. We're going to take our legs up the wall position here, right here on our mat with the help of our blanket. Feet slowly reach up. This should feel fairly effortless. You should have this feeling of just floating upward as the blanket provides that support. Hands can curl around the blanket. If it is feeling too effortful, feel free to come over to your wall and bring the legs up the actual wall. And take a few open mouth exhales here and just let gravity work its magic. Wiggle your toes, roll your ankles, and bend your knees a little bit. Letting all of this blood just pool into the hips and the belly. And then find your stillness again. We're gonna be here for a few moments. Anytime you'd like, you can come down, but try to just sink into this restorative pose. This is medicine for the body. This soothes frayed nerves caused by excess drama. Release your stress. Release the stress of the people around you that you pick up. Sink into the mat. Inhale 8 and exhale 10. 5 more rounds of breath. Before coming down, just go into some intuitive movement. Bend the knees. Maybe even bring the ankles wide apart in an upside down V shape. Get that inner thigh stretch. And then 1 foot at a time, slowly bring your feet down to the earth. And press into the feet, lift up through the hips. Move your blanket out of the way and hips slowly come down to the earth. Press out long through the legs and press up long through the arms. Bring them up overhead. Point your fingers, point your toes. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale, slowly relax. Bring your arms to your sides. Add any layers you'd like. You can cover up with a blanket. Something to cover your eyes is always lovely. And as you start to lengthen out for Shavasana, this final resting position, bring your legs as wide as the mat. Let your toes turn out, just as we did in that frog position or tadpole position. Just feeling that gentle opening through the inner thighs, legs long. Feel your hips anchored, palms press up. If you're feeling completely chaotic and crazy in your life, bring your palms to face down and create a little steadiness. But traditionally, we rest here with palms facing up, this gesture of openness and receptivity and gratitude. Notice the lift of your belly as you inhale, the beat of your heart. Feel your whole body relax into the earth as you exhale, purposefully releasing tension through the legs, the feet, the ankles, the knees. Soften into your thighs and your hips. The breath coming slower. This inner smile just playing in your heart. Allowing gratitude in this time of rest. Just feel yourself relax. Give yourself permission to pause. Start to deepen your breath. Just allowing stillness in the body as you become aware of the inhale and exhale. Start to move your hands and feet, arms and legs. Bend into your knees, soles of the feet to the earth. And then roll on up and into a seated position. Hands at your hearts, a gesture of gratitude. And just pausing here for a moment, allowing yourself this gratitude for time, space, and technology to heal. We'll end class with the sound of 3 ohms. As you inhale, you'll imagine all of the love in the world coming toward you. And as you exhale, you'll imagine that you're sending it back out where it's needed. Inhaling or exhaling the sound of Om. Inhale. Om. Thank you for taking the time to take care of yourselves today. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me on day 1 of our 12 days of healing yoga. The perfect way to end 2020 together as community. Take these classes whenever you'd like, either live with us or through YouTube. And we have 11 more days, including the holidays. We're here Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and then we'll see what January brings. So thank you very much for being here. I love that you guys are figuring out the emoticons and I'm seeing the hearts.